everybody, and welcome to another episode of Pony 4-in-1. This is episode 70.
Wow, we're old.
September 14th.
Yep.
The week of. I am Nemesis, as per usual. You probably recognize the voice, and I hope. And joining me, as usual, Alca7raz.
Yo,
he said.
yo.
Anyway, we got quite a bit of news this week. We also got a topic I teased last week, which you probably already guessed, but you didn't. Well, you'll find out pretty soon. We also got a comic. And one song.
Yep, I only got one.
Here we go. If you want to follow along with the news, you can go to pony4in1.libsyn.com/show notes. All the links and whatnot are there, so we now give you more details on all the stories, because we're not going to go in super detailed, because that would take a long time. So, Let's get started. In convention news, Everfree Northwest has a bunch of open positions for next year's convention. If you're interested, go see what positions are open and apply. Yes, and I say there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot.
Yes. This whole page. It's actually something I've contemplated. So
if you're interested, and you're local or not, if you can make it, go for it.
Yep.
Nightmare Nights Dallas has announced M.A. Larson will be attending, so yet another guest on their ever-expanding roster.
Fellas, that's looking like a big one.
Yes. Also, a lot of PVL people are going to be there, so yay. In convention news, we managed to completely miss last week.
Yeah.
Michelle Krieber, Black Griffin, and Ingrid Nelson, that's the voice of Maud, are going to Ponyville Cider Fest. Somehow, we completely missed it last week in our big 2-week roundup of news. Just blame the fact it was 2 weeks.
Yes.
News. We just overlooked it. And then, also Equestria Daily missed it until recently, too, so we're not alone. In other news and fandom stuff, Part 9 of Bronies 2 is up on YouTube, and it's about the reunion between Lauren Faust and the girl she used to babysit and draw pictures for, like ponies.
Yeah, it's actually a really cool story.
So, reunion because she wanted to meet her old babysitter.
Yeah.
And yet another online poll that will not be skewed at all. Adweek has the Hub and MLP up for nominations in Hottest Family Network and Hottest Kids Show.
I wonder which one's going to win this poll.
Yeah. So if you want to see those, see and try to skew the votes or whatever, vote for them, because someone's probably already bought it. Not pony related, but Sony Pictures has released a featurette for the upcoming movie Medusa, starring the director, Lauren Faust.
Yep.
So, not pony, but still.
It's Lauren, so it's good enough for us.
Close enough. So, if you're interested in that movie, which you probably should be if you're interested in this show.
Yes.
Go take a look at that. In merchandise news, to start off, we have some updates about previous stuff.
Yep.
Images of one of the Play-Doh sets, the Rainbow Dash Style Salon, have appeared.
Yep.
Guess
Just
what?
waiting for the joke.
Yep.
Just say it.
Just say it?
Just say it.
Say
Get
what?
it out of your
I don't
system.
know what you're talking about.
Just get it out of your
How
system.
Rainbow Dash always dresses in style?
It's out of your system. We can move on now.
Anyway, image of the Equestria Girls Sunset Shimmer Time to Shine doll. That's a mouthful. Have appeared online as well. It's an interesting looking doll with mixed reactions. I've noticed some people saying it's ugly and other people saying it's amazing.
Yes.
And she's got these weird, like, gothic-ish butterfly wings. It's odd. It's kind of odd. It's like a lot of toys. It's either that is going to be a big thing or it's going to be absolutely nothing at all.
Yeah.
That's the thing with the toys. It's like it's either it shows some big change coming up, or shows absolutely nothing.
It's like evil butterfly wings. It's weird.
Yeah, except she's good, and it's a rock thing.
Yeah, it's like metal.
Sort of.
I don't know. It's interesting. I can see why people are split over it.
Yeah. Some of the Aurora plushies, namely Derpy and Doctor Who's, that appeared in Hot Topic stores recently, are now available online, with some Luna and Spike showing up as well.
I might have to pick up a Luna next time I'm
online.
there.
But they were on stores, now they're online apparently. So, some blind bag shaped erasers have been found at Target.
Erasers.
Yes, erasers. So far of the main
Erasers.
6, apparently only Pinkie Pies I've seen in the pictures, but erasers shaped like
Okay,
blind
then.
bags.
So you can make them slowly disappear.
Yep. Rub them out. Other erasers have appeared at Party City, and these are quite different. There are 5 of the main 6, no Twilight, and they have interchangeable manes and tails, so they're as much toys as they are erasers.
Which is really interesting because if you use them as erasers and not toys, they're going to disappear.
Yeah? Don't know.
Okay then. All right. We'll go with it.
And still, I guess, stationary-related merchandise news. Pencil toppers have also been found at Target. All of the main 6 this time.
Erasers that don't erase.
Yes. They're not erasers.
I know, they're pencil toppers, but they go where the eraser is.
Anyway. There's also some odd glow merchandise as well. They're, like glow sticks, Snap them, start glowing. So not glow in the dark. So eventually they will fade away. Except they're like glasses and a wand.
Oh.
So not glow sticks. So, well, one's, I guess, a stick, but whatever. In comic news, a preview of the annual 2014 is out on iTunes. This is the Power Ponies issue, so this is going to be fun.
Yes.
This is this month.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
The Hot Topic and Jetpack Comics variants of the issue 24 have been revealed as well, and one of them is a parody of Bill and Ted, and the other one's a parody of Angel, I think, the Joss Whedon series spinoff from Buffy. If you like little references in your comics, go look for those. Hardcover versions of the MLP comics are coming, including a new series called Adventures in Friendship, which is a seemingly random selection of comics, and hardcover versions of previously released compilations. So if you want hardcover comics,
there you go.
Hooray. Friendship is Magic Volume 6 has appeared on Amazon. It includes issues 21 through 24, which is as of now unreleased. And finally, in comic news, there will be a 48-page Equestria Girls holiday special comic coming in December. Hopefully it won't be like the Star Wars holiday special.
Wow, that would just be...
Yeah.
I don't even want to think about that.
Some people would already say it's that by default.
Those people haven't actually watched it then, have they?
Anyway, in Rainbow Rocks news, a Brazilian voice actor has teased a little bit of Rainbow Rocks, including a shot of the script and a still from the movie. And oh look, it's ponies.
Wait, what?
How about that? In fact, it's all the main 6. The voice actors of Sonata Dusk and Arya Blaze have been revealed, and they are Marique Hendricks and Diana Karina. In that order, so... Sonata is Marique.
Yes, so...
AKA
Gilda. Interesting. Alright then.
Everyone's new waifu.
Went from the one not a lot of people liked to one everyone likes. Interesting.
Hooray. Anyway, Equestria Daily got themselves an exclusive trailer for the movie. It reveals quite a few interesting bits of information. And this is where we're going to go a little into spoiler territory here. So skip over the next few minutes. And the next one, too, probably a little bit as well. This one actually revealed a couple... It's kind of short, but it revealed a couple things. Okay, we had once again, as we said before, ponies in the movie, not just human versions. We see Twilight has somehow forced the mirror to open with science.
Science.
Yeah, because there's a big old machine around and everything. So we see more of Sunset, of course, and she's with the main 6, and it's also kind of obvious you see she's still a little uncomfortable because there's one point where there's a big group hug and Sunset just kind of steps out of the way. Like, I'm just gonna get out of the way because I don't belong, I guess,
possibly.
And there was also one scene that I didn't notice initially, but someone else did. People have noticed there's that those stock art and whatnot, like of Sunset with the new outfit, and someone noticed that one of the shots, she's still wearing her leather jacket, but she's definitely wearing a shirt because it's got that weird ring thing. Which so it's the new shirt is there, so she's wearing it, so there's her new outfit that's going to show up too in the movie.
They're actually changing their clothes for once.
I know, it's probably going to be her rock clothes or whatever, like the others have. I'm not sure what she's doing, but because she hasn't done anything yet, but they said she's going to sing, so although again, that's oddly enough, no song of Sunsets has shown up on the soundtrack, but as people have noticed, the soundtrack has 10 songs. We've been told there's 12 to 14, so there's something missing.
Yeah, a lot of it's not unusual for soundtracks to be missing songs.
And another trailer was released from the movie. This one shows a bit more of the battle aspect of the Battle of the Bands, including Octavia.
Yes.
Octavia shows up, and apparently she and Applejack get into a duel, which is going to be interesting. It's bass guitar versus, I guess, either stand-up bass or cello. People would argue about that for a long time because it's not consistent.
Yeah.
It shows aspects of both, so that's the problem.
Yeah.
Any which way. Duel between Applejack and Octavia, that'll be interesting.
That will be interesting.
Anyway, in Friendship is Magic news, the Spooktacular Ponytails DVD has released, so if you're looking for a collection of the spooky episodes from the show, there you go.
Spooky.
And finally, apparently more vinyl records are on the way. These are for Friendship is Magic, and apparently might be exclusive to Hot Topic.
Yeah.
The release date is September 16th, so they might be available by the time you hear this.
Yep.
Supposedly. So, yeah, because the images show them, they're like the clear plastic
they're in
cases, and they have a little sticker on them.
Hot Topic stickers.
Yeah, it's a Hot Topic, so it may be Hot Topic exclusives. So I guess by the time you hear this, they're probably available, so start looking if you want them. No one knows what songs are on them, anything. Just apparently they're printed pictures on the record, which is becoming a thing now.
Yeah.
So that's the news.
There you go.
We got through it. Not too bad, right?
Yeah, not too bad.
Anyway, so like I said last week, I alluded to it. We are finally talking about Equestria Girls.
About time.
The first movie. No, we didn't get a sneak peek of Rainbow Rocks.
Yeah,
it was awesome. That would be like, hey, guess what? We're the first ones to watch it. But no.
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, way back when you probably remember, I said we'll do a review on it, and then things happened and we kind of disappeared for a while, and then we came back and we never got around to it.
We never did.
Until now. Decided, well, new movie's coming out soon, so why not look back at the old one first?
Yep.
Real quick.
See if it changed at all.
No, yeah, you probably all know the synopsis,
Yeah.
Twilight's crown is still, Twilight's still new princess, still not sure of herself, gets her crown stolen by Sunset, goes chases after it to the human world. Shenanigans ensue. Twilight has to learn to fit in this human world. Sunset's
just trying to get her crown.
Trying to get the crown, plus
but she's trying to keep the friends from
embarrass, I guess, ridicule Twilight to do so. And
to make sure she doesn't win the crown.
Twilight turns things around, gets the school voting for her at the stance, big fight, demon form, magical girl transformations, blasting rainbows, everything goes back. Sunset apologizes and all this stuff. There's a dance and go back home. The end.
Yes.
So yeah, Cliff Notes version, I guess.
Cliff Notes.
So this this was the movie that like changed everything, I guess.
Yeah.
This movie came on the tail end of the Twilightcorn drama.
Yeah, it really didn't help things.
And this was, last summer, and I remember when this was first rumored, everyone was like, oh, this is just a rumor, this is crazy, this is made up, it's a lie.
No one wanted to believe.
No one wanted this to be real, and then it suddenly became real. And the movie, when the movie came out, it was all over let's be honest, reception has been all over the place about this movie.
Yep, some people absolutely hate it. Some people
Daily loved it. They, like, Seth Estill loved it, all of them, they liked it, they really loved it, they said, go watch it, it's great. MLP, the board on 4chan, however, were like, no, this is terrible, this is awful, this is the worst thing, don't buy it, don't pay for it, don't even watch it. It's
everyone
else, a blight on the franchise, and then there's
everyone else is more usually on the middle.
Reactions all over the place. I know there are people who hate it, there are people who love it, and all this stuff, but reactions all over the place. A lot of people in the middle was like, yeah, it's all right. Or, yeah, anyway. Overall, when I first saw the movie, I was like, I didn't know what to expect, because it's like I'm hearing all sorts of different things. So,
yep.
I remember I first heard it, I was like, oh. And then I was like, okay, maybe this not meant to be bad. And then I heard some new details, like, oh.
They're not ponies.
I mean, I wasn't too miffed about that. I'm one of the few probably don't care that much about the they're not ponies thing. But overall, after viewing it and thinking about it and all the stuff, the flaws, the good points, everything, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's an all right movie. It's, like I said, it's heavily flawed, but in the end, it's actually pretty all right. I mean, it's just barely, the positives outweigh the negatives, just barely. But overall, it's not. I don't regret watching it. I guess now multiple times. I don't know how many times watching now. 6, 7.
Oh dang! I haven't even watched it that many times.
Yeah, because of various reasons. There's various reasons why I watched it that many times. But overall, that's what I came away with was it's all right. It turned out not to be the dramatic event a lot of people made it out to be. And I'm assuming you felt pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same. My expectations weren't super high to begin with, because again, I was hearing multiple, people love it, people hate it, people say it's okay. I didn't have a huge amount of expectations. They weren't, when I first heard they weren't ponies, I was a little bit disappointed. But we know this group knows what they're doing when it comes to animation. And it's still the same writers and voice actors and everyone else. Everyone's the same, so we know they've done good work. So I wasn't expecting it to be terrible, but I wasn't expecting it to be as good as I was hoping. So I was right about where I was expecting. It wasn't bad. It's definitely watchable, but it's not something to call home about.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like, I know a lot of people get hung up on the whole they're not ponies. A lot of people, for them, that is just it's unforgivable. That makes it it's irredeemable, unforgivable, all that stuff. It's the biggest, as far as some people are concerned, that's the biggest sin of the movie, is that they're not ponies.
It really isn't.
But for me, that doesn't matter.
It's not as big of a
deal. For me, it's the characters, and they kind of still had the characters, pretty much had the characters correct.
Yeah.
For me, it's like they could be gerbils, and as long as the characters are fine, I'm good
gerbil
with it.
Coming this fall.
But
I want someone to actually. Has someone actually done that yet?
Probably. I've seen them drawn as cats, dogs, lizards.
Someone's probably done
fish,
a gerbil.
Dragons.
Someone send us a gerbil pic. I want to see that.
There's the chubby ponies, which are kind of like gerbils.
They're kind of like gerbils. Someone colorize some gerbils for us and show them to us.
Actual horses.
Oh god. Actual horses. But yeah, really, it's not that big of a problem as people make it out to be.
Yeah, I know some people get really hung up on it.
But I also understand why they did it. They needed the extra marketing thing.
Yeah, because they're going for the Monster High.
They needed to compete against Monster High.
And they decided, well, let's take the most popular girls franchise and use that.
Yep.
And it worked.
It did. They made it work. They definitely made it work.
It worked from a marketing perspective and merchandising perspective. It worked spectacularly.
Yes, it's one of their highest selling, isn't it, right now?
MLP and Equestria Girls are some of their biggest brands they have.
Yeah, so whatever they did what they wanted it to. So
Equestria
say what you want about the movie.
People like to say, "Oh, I see a bunch of Equestria Girls sitting on the shelf."
Yeah, it's because they restock.
They sell.
Yeah. So yeah, regardless of what you say about the movie, it definitely served its purpose, and it served its purpose well.
Yeah. And like we said, also, it's got some significant plot holes.
Yeah, watching it the second time.
I'm going to let you all giggle at that word for a second.
Plot holes.
And now...
now that you've got that out of your system.
Yes. Yeah, so significant plot holes. I think the first big one this movie introduces, and everyone just like, wait, what? Was, why is only Twilight the only one allowed to go through the mirror?
Yeah.
And they kind of vaguely hand wave it, but it really falls flat and just makes you go, that's not really a good reason.
I think we sort of explained the reasoning why when we talked about the whole, there was supposed to be a series.
Yeah.
That was supposed to come out of this.
I'm going to go into a little bit later in this discussion, but
yeah,
it was one of those, it felt like a really rushed kind of forced explanation that was covering something up. Like they didn't know what to do, so they just kind of, because you can't, because it might ruin things. They needed an explanation,
and they just quickly shoved that in there.
Yeah, that's one. Another one was, what was the other one I'm thinking of?
There's a whole list to go through.
Yeah, there's a whole list to go through. There's some things like, why does Sunset know all these things? She shouldn't be able to know she's been here for so long.
Yeah, if the portal only opens every so often, how does she know all these recent events in Equestria?
She knows a lot of things that, by all accounts, she should technically not be able to know, but she knows them anyway, and also, this movie kind of throws a monkey wrench in trying to make any sort of a coherent timeline.
Yeah, timelines are all over the place.
You have to kind of fudge things now to get things.
Yeah, how old is Celestia?
Yeah,
she's over 1,000 years old in the pony world, but in the human world
she's like 40 something probably.
How old is she there? How does that work?
Something. But
you're in high school in the human world, but they're have to be older than
there's of course the transformation at the end, the main six turning into these pony-ish versions of themselves doesn't really totally make sense. And I think some of these plot holes, though, I think they're signs of a very rapidly changed script.
Yep.
Very, very late 11th hour change in the whole process. Because I remember there was the initial rumors. Now I have to explain this. I have to explain kind of the backstory. Because, we had those initial rumors, which people were dismissing. If you remember, there's the picture that showed up. It was obviously like a concept shot. It was a kind of this is a kind of a general what we're going to make them look like type thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the main six kind of standing together, all in pretty much the same pose. Just, this is just what they look like. This is
basically mock-ups.
Yeah, mock-ups. And people were like, this is obviously fake. and then a lot of people were coming out who have actual context and were like, no, this is happening. And there's also information that came out with this picture that doesn't really gel with what we eventually got, which is the weird thing, because, like, okay, the leak was legit, so why is all this stuff wrong?
Yeah.
And there's also the Toy Fair from 2013, the New York Toy Fair, I believe it was. Yeah, the New York Toy Fair. And there's had this little, like, pamphlet magazine thing, con book, whatever, that came out and had a little bit about My Little Pony. And they even talked about the spin-off TV series Equestria Girls. What happened to that?
Yeah.
And if you notice, there has not been a TV series, even though it's been rumored multiple times, including recently as Equestria Academy. So far, nothing has surfaced.
Yes.
So why is this? Why did that rumor, or that showed up in an official, like, publication? Why is this showing up when nothing has appeared yet? It's like, my theory, and I only have real circumstantial evidence about this, is that at one point there was a TV series, but it got canned because Friendship is Magic got a season 4.
So they had to quickly change the script to fit.
And Equestria Girls was supposed to be a bridge between the two series. And it was supposed to be like, Friendship is, if you remember Beast Wars and stuff, Friendship is Magic was the equivalent of Beast Wars. Equestria Girls is the equivalent of Beast Machines. Same characters, new setting, new plot, new stuff. And Equestria Girls, though, was supposed to be the bridge. This was supposed to go, okay, this is where Friendship's Magic is, and we're going to bridge over to Equestria Girls with this movie. And because that series suddenly didn't exist, they now had to make the movie self-contained.
Yeah.
And so they had to make these hasty rewrites of a lot of stuff, and now stuff doesn't, like, make sense, and they didn't really have time to redo it. I suspect some stuff was already done, like voice acting and stuff was already done at this point, and they had to hastily redo some of it.
Possibly. There might be some of it that's done.
I know, but I'm saying some of it's already done, and, you know, like, possibly the movie voicing was done, and now they have to redo some of it, so they had to call the voice actors back in real fast and get this real done. But again, circumstantial. We don't actually have any real solid proof that this happened.
Yeah, you can see that in a couple of the plot holes that we're talking about. One of them is the beginning of the mirror scene.
Yeah, like,
they were all supposed to.
Because I remember the original. I remember one of the leaks was it's about the main 6 being in the human world.
Yeah,
all 6 of them go through, not just Twilight. All 6, and it's supposed to be the whole idea was it's a fish out of water type. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know anything about this world. And they're just trying to get by while trying to get back home, because the idea was they're stuck in this world. And I think that was the thing.
So they had to quickly change the mirror scene to keep them, and hastily come up with some reason why they couldn't go through.
You might upset the balance or something.
Which is funny, because I think the comics, that recent series,
the reflection arc
of the comics came in and made that more plausible by giving it more.
Yeah, it's like
more backstory.
Going through too much, too many people going through and stuff. You disrupt the alignment or something.
Yeah, because as we saw in the Reflections arc, as Celestia kept spending more and more time in that
and going over
mirror world, it started to connect the two worlds together more, and it started destabilizing.
Destabilizing one would just eventually destabilize the other.
Yes, so that kind of helps that a little bit more.
But that was
this was well
that almost
after.
Feels like a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
On that little plot boo-boo.
Or they just decided to use it as...
And also helps explain the Magical Girl transformation, because they're all ponies initially. Then it makes a lot more sense.
You're seeing the true selves start to come through.
And 5 humans.
Yeah. If it was the actual main 6 who went through, that Magical Girl transformation would have just been the Crown's magic bringing part of their true selves out.
Yeah. And that makes a lot more sense.
It would make a lot more sense.
Than just kind of... Magic change.
Yeah. Magical hair extensions.
Yeah. But the one plot hole that is not really filled is, unfortunately, is just that Sunset has information she shouldn't be able to have.
Yeah. And that kind of ties...
I mean, some of it's kind of explained in, like, the Equestria Girls comic, the annual 2013, a little bit, because they went back into Sunset's backstory, and it kind of, some of it's explained. Apparently she was doing some research, and they're in this forbidden section of the Cantor Library or whatever, Royal Library, whatever it was. And I think some information about the elements of harmony was there, but why does she, which might, again, the reflections thing might have banded this, like, possibly Celestia took the elements to, or one element to another world at one point.
Yeah.
And found out that it does change things a lot.
Yeah, because, I mean, in the Reflections art, they brought all 6 of them over.
Yeah, but So
But
I
they didn't use
think, but
them.
it still doesn't explain. Okay, so she has some
Oh.
information, but that doesn't explain why she knows who, like, why she broke up the main 6 human versions. Because some
How
reason
does she
knew
know
they
about
were,
them?
Yeah, so this kind of points out, like, and also there's the 30 moons thing. How long
How
is that?
long is 30 moons, really?
Like, I noticed people just kind of run with the 2.5 years thing and just assume that's canon, and then scream when that doesn't make sense anymore. But
Yeah, because
when
they
that doesn't
think a moon being a lunar cycle, which is
1
roughly one
well,
month.
it's actually 28 days, but or something. But
Yeah,
whatever.
it's something like that.
But anyway, so it's about 2.5 years, and people are just like, well, but they never really properly explained what a moon is. I mean, there's
But
been
you're talking about a world that's the moon is controlled by an individual.
and no, that she was the one who said moon, so she could be her own unique name for an existing time.
So yeah,
I mean, some people put out put forward the theory it's 30 days. And some
but that
people
would
put
mean that was not a very long time to get stuck in another world.
it's really
1
not.
month
It's
is
a month,
really not
but
that
a lot
long.
of stuff can happen in a month.
A lot can, but it's really not that
It's
long.
really that's not much of a
Oh crap! You've got to get back.
That's- yeah,
You're gonna
it's
be
not really
stuck
much
there
of
for a
a-
really long time. It's just a month.
the stakes aren't high enough.
Yeah.
But another one is each moon refers to each phase of the moon, which is new moon, full moon, half moon, which
Waxing and waning gibbous
Yeah.
moons.
which translates into about, if I recall correctly, 6 months or so. That's because each one is about a week long, 8
something
days.
like that.
So yeah, it's 30 weeks, which is a long time, but it's not super long and makes things make more sense. As it stands, there are potholes.
Yeah.
And there's also, and I have to talk about this, I think the biggest failing of the movie, which is the romantic subplot.
It's completely and totally unnecessary.
Yeah.
Every single scene that you have Brad, and I'm just going to
Sentry.
continue to call him Brad because I think that name fits. Every single scene that he shows up in, the parts where he's helpful to the story are completely and totally separate from any romantic interest. You don't have to have that interest there.
And even the parts where he was helpful is easily replaced with another character. Is another problem.
There doesn't have to be romantic interest there. It's just like they tacked it in there because I don't know why.
At this point, based on some of the stuff I've seen, like we showed up in the finale of season 4, and Jim Miller said because it was by request.
Someone in the higher up is saying.
Yeah, I'm now getting this vibe of there's an executive who, for some reason, has gotten attached to Flash Sentry or demanded a love interest in the movie, and now they've gotten attached to the character and are forcing him in.
Let's hope not, because that's just
Because
horrible.
also another thing was Megan McCarthy. I remember that pre-season 4 finale interview thing they did on YouTube with Tara Strong and Megan McCarthy. Megan said something along the lines she really doesn't want Twilight in a she's like she doesn't see her getting married and having kids anytime soon. Almost felt like she was really much anti Twilight romantic relationship, and yet she's the one writing this, so. It almost feels like she was forced into it by an executive at some point. Like, you have to have romantic interest for Twilight in this because it will help make the movie.
The only thing I can think of at that point is just a stereotypical image of the target audience for this, which is the preteen.
Yeah, they're
preteen
aiming for
girls,
slightly higher,
which
than the
is the stereotypical boy crazy phase. So that's what I'm thinking. Someone's going, they're starting to get interested in boys, so let's put a love interest in there.
But going back to Flash a bit, the problem is the real problem with this romantic subplot, beyond the just it feels really like shoehorned in, like we just kind of said.
Yeah.
It really feels like it was just tacked on, which is one problem. Flash himself has like zero personality. There is nothing there. I'm going to borrow a bit from Red Letter Media. He did those wonderful reviews of the Star Wars prequels, which were really long, but you should go look at them if you haven't yet. But he had this one bit where he's like, describe characters from the original trilogy without resorting to physical characteristics. They're talking about how Han's like a rogue and he's not totally a good guy, but at the same time he's also kind of greedy. Luke's kind of honorable, but he's also very naive. Stuff like that. And but then he said, now describe characters from the prequel trilogy without resorting to physical characteristics. And you got a lot of ahs and ums and stuff because people were like, I have no idea how to talk about them because there's nothing there.
There's not much there to talk about.
And it's the same thing. Describe Rainbow Dash without resorting to physical characteristics.
Oh boy.
By canon, not fanon, just canon.
Okay, just confirm canon without
confirm
any
canon.
head canon. Well, she's brash. She's strong-headed. She's a bit self-centered, but she's also loyal. She has a heart that she doesn't want to show.
Okay, see, you already got a lot of stuff, and that was only, what, 10 seconds?
Yeah, and I could continue.
Yeah,
I'm
you could
trying
continue,
not to
but
put
we're
head
going
canon in
to
there.
cut it down a little bit. Now, describe Flash Sentry without resorting to physical characteristics.
Cliche. That's all I can say.
Okay.
That's pretty much. He seems like a patchwork of very cliche topics just put together with nothing to call his own. That's it.
But yeah, it's just there's really nothing there. I mean, honestly, if you asked me to describe Flash Sentry, I will sit there just kind of. I have no idea what to say about him other than I just don't like him.
He's
that's
got
personal feeling. That's not actual. There's nothing there. The only thing I can say is he plays guitar.
Yeah, he has no personality to call his own, and every line he has is just really cliche lines that
also kind of delivered badly too.
Yeah, badly delivered. Sorry, cliche Vincent, lines. Yeah. So
sorry, Vincent, but yeah, wasn't great.
It's not your fault, Vincent. You just had really bad material to work with.
he just always gotta stop bumping each other like this, and just every single time it happens,
you just cringe. It's like
it's like I said, you cut out the romantic subplot from this movie, and it helps. I think it would help it a lot. I think that's another problem was. Here's the thing, though. I know a lot of people just immediately will jump on, well, you just hate him because he's stealing your waifu. And I'll admit, a little tiny piece of me is like, yes.
Yes.
That is kind of a thing. But I think, and I can't confirm this because this hasn't happened, but if he was introduced with an actual personality and stuff and flaws, and he actually was characterized well, they actually spent time and said, okay, this is what he's like, and before forcing romantic thing on it, like have us get to know him, and okay, I might have been fine with it. Yeah, I probably would have been fine with it.
One thing to the naysayers on you saying, oh, he's stealing your waifu, I don't like him, and Twilight's not my waifu, so there you go. Another one, he could have had more personality. There was one piece that is actually semi-critical that was just really badly handled, I think. The whole him showing up with the actual photos.
Oh, yeah, the doctored photos bit.
The doctored photos. He has motive to do that. They explained earlier that Flash Sentry is Sunset's ex. So there is he broke up with her. They actually explained that. So there's potential for personality. He has a reason. He actually stood up to it. So it's like, okay, you have something you can start working with, and then they didn't.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you could have had something there. You didn't have to have the romantic interest of Twilight, but you had a potential for more backstory and more personality for him.
As it stands, the way it is, you can easily just swap him out with any of the human main six.
Yeah.
Because they're helping out their new friend who's trying to topple Sunset.
Yes.
And it works.
It's like you had something and
that's the thing.
You dropped it.
If your character's only useful contribution to the story is something that they can be easily done by anyone else, you have a problem.
Yes.
If that character also has no personality, it's like, what is worse? Being hated for having a bad personality or being hated for having no personality? And I honestly think no personality is the worst one.
Yes.
There is nothing there. There is absolutely nothing. I mean, you can get away with no personality in certain mediums and whatnot. I mean, we have a lot of characters in the movie who have no personality, but they aren't important. Yeah, they are just there. They're not important. There's nothing there.
Hell, I think you actually might pull more personality out of normal Norman.
But Flash has nothing. Yeah. He's just the pretty boy.
Yep.
And it reminds me, and I'm going to go into an area you have no knowledge of. And
let me guess, Transformers.
No.
Oh, wow.
Kim Possible.
Oh, Kim Possible.
I know a lot of you have watched that show.
Is it Ron?
Yeah, no. Ron actually had a lot of personality.
No, he did.
He's clumsy. He's a jokester. He's insecure. He's got a fear of monkeys.
He's got a fear of monkeys. He has a pet making mole
He's
rat.
just a goofball.
Yes, I have seen Kim Possible.
Yeah, but there was also early on, there was another character called Josh Mankey. And he was just a generic pretty boy who Kim had a crush on. He was introduced solely to be there, to be as an obstacle, kind of a target of ire for Ron.
Yes.
And the should explain it because monkey. But anyway, in the show, he had zero almost zero personality. Even a show, there was an episode where Kim goes on a date with Josh, and the bad guys are trying to ruin it because, yeah, anyway, I don't want to get too, but Josh had nothing. The only notable thing about him was he's an artist. He had no personality except for, and they had one defining trait that had no bearing. We had nothing else about him. Does this sound familiar? And here's the thing, though. Familiar. He was a plot device. The whole point was he's supposed to be there to get in the way. Because they even said at the beginning, they had always had the intention of Kim and Ron getting together romantically, which they eventually did.
Yes, I do remember
but
that.
But he was just kind of supposed to get there and get in the way and kind of show early on, even though they're just Kim and Ron are just friends, that he's just kind of get in the way and kind of show a little bit of hints of Ron may feel more than friendship for Kim. But... And Josh was the third guy. He's the generic dude. He's just in the way. This is a common trope of generic dude. He's always there. He's just in the way.
But he's intended to be.
Yeah, that's the whole point. The Flash feels like that character, except there's no care. He's supposed to be the guy you root against because you're supposed to support this romantic coupling. And he feels like that other third character, except
they're trying to use him in ways that they can't.
They kind of messed it up. It's like they forgot something. They forgot the other character. And that's the problem. He's just generic. He feels like a generic plot device that has no plot attached to him.
Yeah.
Like I said, romantic subplot fell flat hard. We've been on this for a long time. But yeah, I've had this built up in me for like the last year. I just finally need to get it out.
You don't like Flash.
Yeah, it's really...
Neither do I.
And I've noticed most of his fans of right now, you know why they're his fans? Because he gets people mad. That's the only reason they like him, and they will admit to that. That's another thing. If you're the only reason people like your character is because other people hate him, you got another thing wrong with him. So yeah, that is one really. The whole thing. It is honestly that is probably the biggest failing of this whole movie was this aborted romantic subplot. Which, as we saw, amounted to nothing. Not even a kiss happened, which some people were relieved with. But then it comes to the point of, so what's his purpose then? If nothing happens, then why is he even there? And now we're finding out in Rainbow Rocks, he's going to be there again. And he's going to have a speaking role again.
Speaking roles and more importance. So it's like, oh boy, how are they going to
handle this one?
It's
a little worrying. I'm worried they're going to try to force this again, and their best bet would just drop it like a hot potato.
Drop it like it's hot.
Yeah, drop it. Just drop it. Just because I know most of the adult fan base either doesn't care or hates it, and those who do like it only like it because most of those who do like it only like it because it gets other people mad. And the intended fan base or intended audience seems to be,
I don't know.
They don't care. They don't seem to care either way. He's just there. They don't really care about him. In fact, I've heard, and again, this is anecdotal, but I heard someone say something like, there's a girl watching and she's like, why does Twilight need a boyfriend? That's what they asked, is why does Twilight need a boyfriend?
She doesn't.
And it's really, if anything, we're also got this weird thing, because like,
if your target audience is saying that.
If anything, if all the main six, who do you expect really to get a significant other first? Rarity, probably.
Rarity. She's probably going to be the one looking for them.
Yeah.
Well, she is the one looking for them. We saw that in the ending of the first season.
In season 4.
Yeah.
So, for Twilight all of a sudden to get it, it's just weird.
Yeah,
it feels
right. Forced.
It feels awkward and forced. But also, I just want to go back again to the aborted series that was apparently canned or something. That's what it felt like. But I remember that I can't get a link to this because the original Tumblr blog that had it was deleted.
Wonderful.
But when that picture came out, the initial picture that came out about Equestria Girls, which everyone rejected as fake, there was a bunch of information that came along with it. It was the main six go to this human world, they get trapped there, and the whole series is basically about them trying to fit into this completely different world. Meanwhile, Twilight's trying to find a way back home, build a machine, some way, while simultaneously trying to get a boyfriend and failing. I think Flash Sentry was part of that initial dropped series. He was supposed to be expanded on the series, and because that series was dropped, now he has nothing to do.
Yeah. But which would give reason to your plot device.
It's like you got she trying and failing to get a boyfriend. All these things, like, and all this stuff makes sense. Remember, Friendship's Magic hit 65 episodes. For a cartoon, that's your end. 65. Yeah. Somehow they got another season, which I believe is why Equestria Girls was canned. So basically what I'm saying is the Equestria Girls movie suffered because season 4 exists. Which
Which, honestly, watching season 4, this is a good thing. I would have rather have the season 4 that we had than...
I suspect season 4 possibly had some elements borrowed from what was the aborted attempt at Equestria Girls, which was like the group journal thing. I believe that was probably their thing, because that wasn't part of the leak. But I mean, think about it. You don't have Celestia, right? Too, so just write a group journal. That was probably going to be a thing. But I remember stuff like it was supposed to be like Pinky was going to have a party which had a SWAT team called on it or something.
That I heard. Yeah.
And Fluttershy was supposed to get a crush on the science teacher who was Discord.
Oh boy, yeah.
Which, oh god, which if there's also those rumors going around of the possible season 5 episode with Fluttershy and Discord, which again feels like possibly things are.
They took elements from the canned one and like, well, this is still a good idea.
Yeah, like I said, Twilight's supposed to be trying and failing to get a boyfriend. Sunset was probably going to be involved in some way. We don't know. Rarity's supposed to get a crush on a guy who has a green mohawk name who calls himself Spike.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a reversal of the situation we know. Because I think Spike was not supposed to go through with Twilight, but they added him in because, well, Twilight needs someone to talk to.
Yeah.
Who she knows.
Needed someone.
And another one, this is the surprising one, which I think... Oh, actually, there's another one. This is the one that came true, which was Celestia and Luna wearing pantsuits. That was the one that came true.
Suits.
That was the one that turned out to be true, I believe. Yeah. The only one, other than just it's in high school and human world, which exactly is what happened. And there's the other one, this is the one that made people eyebrows go up, and I think this is what pushed people into this is not true, which is the whole two of them are going to be implied to be lesbians or something.
Yeah,
they're never heavily implied, whatever the heck that means, but.
No idea.
No ideas. No. I just know that certain ones are probably off limits already based off other plot elements and all this stuff. I'm not going to go into that. It's a whole nother discussion.
That is a can of worms.
Yeah. But another thing, plot hole. There's a whole thing of, well, okay, Sunset's been over in this world and Twilight now just showed up. If you notice, the human world kind of relies on paperwork. Lots of paperwork with identifications, all this stuff.
How did no one notice that she wasn't a registered student?
Yeah, same with Sunset.
Sunset may have forged some
things. Yeah,
but
she was there for a long time. But
she had time to forge things, and she showed up at the very beginning of the freshman school year, so she may have just been signed on then as a
of course, then there's also the question of where the heck Sunset's been living.
The other Suns, or yeah, where is she?
Where is Sunset been living? Because Twilight just kind of stayed in the library overnight. Where's Sunset been? I noticed a lot of fanfics kind of go with she's in an abandoned house, or she's in a warehouse, or somewhere where people usually don't go.
It would make sense, yeah.
It makes sense. And that was another one I saw a comic. She's just sleeping in the gym storage room.
That would be interesting, because apparently no one there needs to ever change clothes.
Yeah, that's a falling of a lot of cartoons. It's just everyone wears the same clothes every day,
which is understandable. They need, it helps. Instant recognition when you see the characters.
Faster animation.
Yeah.
But
it just makes sense to do that.
Yeah, so that's a whole nother can of worms. And then there's another one opens up, which is okay. We also know from Rainbow Rock's previews that Sunset only dated Flash for the sake of getting popular. This is how we found out she probably played nice while dating Flash and Slasher. But anyway, she was dating Flash.
Is much cooler.
But anyway, she was dating Flash for the purpose of getting popular, and as she dated him, she got meaner and meaner and meaner as her true personality showed through, and then eventually Flash dumped her because this is not the girl I was dating.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. That's a whole other thing. Anyway, but it's that's a whole big old plot holes that things that just you're not supposed to think about. You go, wait a minute,
and you see them more as you watch it.
And the more you watch it, the more you realize these things don't really add up. And there's a lot of stuff like that. And there's there's also the inevitabilities, like possible inevitability of what if Sunset runs into her other self.
Yeah, I mean they kind of glossed over Twilight with that one, saying with Pinky talking about the city.
Speaking of which, Pinky.
And that was another
two things which are just.
I did
Twilight's
not like...
getting ready to explain she's who she actually is, and Pinky says the whole thing.
Just boom, whole thing right there explains.
It's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be. It's if you know TV tropes, which I bring up a lot. It's refuge and audacity / lampshade hanging. Basically, just quickly explain. Again, this is another thing that they had to do.
They had to quickly put it in because it's no longer a series. So it's like, okay, now you have to explain to this other 5 what's going on. If it was the original, you wouldn't have to because they, it's them. They know. So they quickly had to explain this to them so they could all work together. So they tried, like you're about to say.
They just tried to make it a lampshade hanging and just make it funny.
Yep.
And kind of failed.
It just kind of feels like. And then they
super contrived.
Did it again.
They had a callback to it later in the last bit of the movie and stuff.
And it was just I think that whole thing was just badly handled.
Yeah, it's just it's a lot of like there's like a lot of interesting and slightly good ideas. I would say, but some interesting and good ideas in there, but a lot of it's just handled poorly. And this is like I've said this a couple episodes ago. This is Megan McCarthy's writing fumble. This is her writing fumble. Was this movie? Other authors have made theirs, and this was hers.
Yeah. Though again, like you said, with that series getting canned, I think a lot of it would have been better if the series was there. It wouldn't have been as big of a fumble because it would have, there was supposed to be more and other things.
This was our
had
introduction.
To quickly change it. So I think that's where it fumbled. Is
a series would have been interesting. I think based off what I saw with the leaks, it would have been interesting, just because
I do think it would have been
the whole fish out of water thing. Just seeing them grappling with this. This is not our world.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic. I would have loved to see how they handled it.
We're not going to probably ever see it, even though the rumors keep persisting. Who knows? Maybe we'll get it eventually.
Maybe Equestria Academy
5 more years of Generation 4. Maybe this will be part of it. We don't know.
Yeah, they do keep going on with the movies. We do have
Rainbow Rocks
coming up
and
soon.
Likely a third movie based
Most
on
likely.
some language they've said. So
they're getting good money off the movies, whether we like them or not. The merchandise in movies are doing very well.
Part of us because we do keep paying to see them.
We do.
Some of us anyway. Some of us don't.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think it was.
I mean, we could probably go on forever, but
we
only have so much time.
Yeah. It was an
all
right
movie.
movie.
Forever. Yeah, it was
all right. It had a lot of problems,
yes,
but it could have had a lot more.
Some of the episodes of the series were worse.
Yes, I will say that. Like Spike at Your Service.
Spike at Your Service was one. I think I would even say Cutie Pox was even worse.
Yeah, there was a lot of individual episodes that were a lot worse than this movie. Yeah. But this movie, it's not as good as it could have been. I think there's some reasons why it failed, because things had to be changed. I think it could have been a lot better if they weren't changed. I think it could have been a lot better even if things weren't changed.
I still think, though, the biggest thing they could have done to help make the movie better was just remove the romantic subplot.
Yep.
That was the biggest flaw.
It could have worked if, like you said, if there was going to be a series and Twilight was going to have a failed love interest, he would have worked to stay there. But because they canned the series and removed that, they should have pulled Brad out of the romantic interest as well.
Or it could have worked if they had just given him character. Like I said, if he had decent characterization, I probably would have been fine with the ship and the romantic and all that stuff. I probably would have been totally okay with it. But as it stands, because he's such a bad character or non-existent character, and that's why he's bad.
Not even a bad character. He's just
he's bad because he's non-existent. That's it's. So if he was written better, I think I would have been fine with it. But as it stands, it's terrible. So yeah, otherwise though, it's actually an all right movie. If you just remove pieces and bits of it.
You have to gloss over little pieces of it, but
it's actually pretty all right. It's just like we said, lots of flaws, but there's still some positives. There's some funny jokes. Like my favorite is still the Transformers joke at the beginning. Pinky like huddles up in the ball and then she unfolds herself. You hear the Transformers noise. Okay, that was pretty funny. That is the best joke of the movie.
Yeah.
And there's some funny bits. There's some good jokes, and even in the human stuff like Twilight just
acting like a horse.
Being weird, not being used to hands in the library and stuff. That was all pretty funny.
That was pretty funny.
There's the good songs. We didn't even talk about the songs. Like I said, we can talk
everyone's
about this forever.
talked about the songs.
But we know Cafeteria song. Almost everyone. That's unanimously like the best.
Yeah.
People mixed, but generally the theme song remix and the Friend for Life are also regarded as pretty good.
We featured Big Night remix not too long ago.
Actually, a while ago now, I think.
It was a while ago. But we featured. So the songs were really good.
Some of the songs.
Some of them were.
Some of them were pretty forgettable.
Yeah.
Like the.
They weren't bad. They were just kind of.
Yeah, it's just there.
Yeah.
But then,
But it's watchable.
It's watchable.
But
and you probably get it cheap now.
Yeah.
So if you haven't watched it yet, I mean, at this point, well, you just got it spoiled to hell and back.
Yeah.
But some people will just refuse to watch it, and some people just don't want Equestria Girls to just die and go away. And I don't think that's going to happen.
It's not going to happen at this point.
Even if we all, as adult fans, stopped buying anything or watching it or everything, it would still be pretty successful because we're not buying the dolls and stuff. The girls are.
Yeah.
So there it is. And like I said, we could go on forever, but
we have other things we have to talk about. Yes.
But so moving on, and we might come back to this movie in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still plenty to talk about. Not so much about the movie itself as it is about stuff around the movie.
Yeah, and maybe if we talk about the new movie, we might reference this one again.
Yeah, because
we're probably going to have
be
to.
A pretty big thing.
Yeah.
So, moving on, we also have a comic, It's Friends Forever #9 involving Granny Smith and Flim and Flam. And basically, okay, the apples are going to an Apple Con.
Yes.
Apple
convention.
Yeah, and while there, well, Granny's already kind of in a bad mood because they ruined it because they added oranges and stuff to other fruits, but particularly oranges to it. And she's not happy about this. And eventually she runs into Flim and Flam, and she's, confronts them, and they're all like, it's like, we're not talking to each other anymore. She doesn't believe him because she thinks it's just another con. But eventually she finds out, yeah, they really are not talking to each other, and it's because of a girl. And from there, she has to try to fix their relationship. Because, well, not has to, but she feels compelled to.
For reasons.
Because of reasons, yeah.
Reasons that are actually explained. We're not glossing over it.
Yeah, there are reasons, and we don't want to spoil it.
We're just not spoiling it.
Yeah. So, overall, though, this comic, I think, overall, this comic was okay. I enjoyed it for the most part, but it was still, I think, not the best. I think there's better issues of the comic out there. The art's great. The dialogue's pretty good. There's one really, really nice panel.
Second page.
Yeah. It's big and amazing.
Yep.
But overall, it was enjoyable, but I think there are definitely better comics, but there are also the much worse ones, so it's okay.
Yeah.
How about you?
About the same. I enjoyed it, but there wasn't a lot of meat to it. It was just kind of...
It's pretty straightforward.
All right. It's there. It works.
Stuff coming from a mile away.
Yeah. There isn't a huge amount. Ooh. It's... You gotta read it and keep going. It's just... Yeah, all right. It's there. Yeah. It's not bad. It's just... It's just a little one-shot.
Yeah, there's fun little faces in there. There's... Granny's hatred of oranges is funny.
I did like that. That was hilarious.
Yeah, like I said, the panel. This is the second page. This is massive, just full 2 pages, no line breaks or anything. Just you see tons of ponies and little jokes here and there, and
every pony that actually has details drawn is an established background character already,
or main character.
It's weird. All the main characters show.
Why are all these other ponies there? I don't know. Why is Rarity there? I don't know. Because she is.
It's a big convention. Lots of people. She likes people.
Yeah.
There you go. There's another reason. All the Wonderbolts are there.
Yeah, the Wonderbolts are there. We got Royal Guard, the princesses, Pinky, all the main 6, other apples.
There's some references to some fanon in there.
Mm-hmm. Small things, just goofy little jokes, like a banana booth with Celestia.
Yep.
So,
yeah,
overall, it's all right. It's okay. We're saying all right and okay a lot. But yeah, it's readable. I think it's probably worth $4. Yeah, go ahead and read it. It's a fun little, especially if you like the apples, particularly Granny, because Granny can be fun. But it's pretty straightforward and predictable how things happen. But yeah, it's a fun comic.
Yep, I would still say it's worth it.
So that's that. And now we have our one and only piece of fan content, courtesy of Alca7raz here.
I only have one song. The song I have is "Crash" by Aviators.
They were just the voices in my head. I don't have to listen to them anymore. I gave them to a darker side. Now I've got nothing left to hide. Crush and rebuild the world before I declare war.
It's a Discord song, which this is actually not the first Discord song. I think we actually featured one by him a while back that was also a Discord song. But this was Aviators, yeah. But this one's, I liked it. It's heavy rock. Not quite metal. I don't know what to call it.
It's not metal.
But it's heavy rock.
It's heavy-ish.
Heavy-ish. Nice guitar work. One thing I do like about this one is it sounds slightly different than his usual, which I am enjoying because I was starting to get to the point with his songs that they all started to sound similar, and this one changed it up a bit. Like his vocals improved. It didn't sound like he was pushing it and trying too hard as much anymore. So I did enjoy this one a lot. What did you think about it?
I actually like this one too. yeah, like you said, this is a rock song. It was a rock song, and calling it Crash, and it's like, wasn't about Rainbow then? But
har.
So yeah, it's about Discord. It's a fun, enjoyable song. Yeah, it's kind of the heavier side. I would not say it's super heavy at all. It's just a little heavy. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's
it reminds me of like late 90s rock.
It's got some synth in the back too.
Yeah, it's got some synth, but that what mostly reminds me of is like, I guess, late 90s rock. So it kind of has that feel, if you know what I'm talking about, or maybe early 2000s a little bit, like really early 2000s. But it's got that kind of feel. So if you like that sort of rock, this might be right up your alley.
I don't know. Someone else will tell us.
Yeah, someone will say something about how wrong we are or whatever.
Yeah, and I do remember it wasn't a Discord one that we featured. It was a Tyrek one.
Ah, that's right.
It was a Tyrek one that we featured from him a little while ago. So
Tyrek.
We're not doing that again.
Yeah, I have no fanfic because I had a couple things, but it was one of those. It was very late, and it was kind of too late to for him to be able to read it.
Yeah.
And also lots of Destiny.
Yes.
I was playing. We were both playing Destiny a lot. But I was playing a little bit more.
If you follow us on Twitter, you'll see our screenshots from that.
Yeah, Destiny, go play it. I don't know if it's a game that it's gonna either click or not. But yeah, we've been enjoying it.
Yes, but that's not pony related.
Yeah, that's not pony related unless you make it pony related.
Actually, I've already seen that. Metal Kitty did some Destiny ponies. There you go. It was actually really cool.
And I've seen Main 6 as Destiny too. So anyway, that's the end of our episode. We talked all about Equestria Girls today. We'll be talking about Rainbow Rocks pretty soon.
Yep, stay tuned.
Yes. But anyway, if you like this episode and possibly want to hear past and future episodes, you can listen to them on pony411.libsyn.com. All the downloads are there. You can also subscribe via iTunes because it's the same source but different methods. But yeah, subscribe iTunes, search Pony411 there. We're there. Subscribe. Cool. We can also listen via YouTube. That's youtube.com/pony411. All our episodes, no need to download there unless you really want to. But why would you want to get the YouTube version when you get the better?
Just get the raw version.
Yeah, just get the raw version. It's better. It's easier.
Yeah.
So don't have to listen to that. Download to listen there. You can also go via Ponyville FM. This is Tuesdays every night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Listen there. We're within that block. Talk Tuesday. You can also follow us on Twitter or at Pony411. That's where most of our nonsense happens. So, follow us there.
Tweet us.
Yeah, tweet things to us. We'll respond, I swear. Usually, unless it's something we don't have an answer to, in which case we won't. You can also like us on Facebook, facebook.com/pony411. We post all the episodes there as well.
Yep.
We'll sometimes post our new stuff. We don't use it as often, but hey, it's a nice little way to, if you don't like using Twitter, that's a nice little way to get our constant stuff, updates and whatnot. You can also email us at pony411podcast@gmail.com if you want to get a little more private. No public nonsense. Just ask us questions, criticize, whatever. That's cool. I promise I won't get angry at you. I won't publicly get angry at you.
Won't publicly.
You can also follow us on our personal Twitters. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1. He's at Alca7raz with a underscore at the end and a 7 to 7T. That's it. That's everything. Yes.
Yes, that's everything, I believe.
Yes, that's everything. We'll be back next week. We'll have something a little bit different. We're going to once again dive into the past. So once again, guys, please pony responsibly. Bye.